Can you start off describing SpaceForge and what the company aims to do?
Yeah, so Spaceforge is an in-space manufacturing company, and we're building the world's first returnable and relaunchable satellite platform. The reason we're doing that is so that we can leverage the space environment like a way we've never been able to before. So really, when you think about space, the way that it's been used really until very recently has been as the ultimate high ground. And the technologies that we've deployed there have been to assist with finding problems on Earth, like Earth observation, for example, fantastic for finding oil spills and things. But you still need solutions on the ground to go and solve them. At SpaceForge, we're looking at leveraging the benefits of the space environment that traditionally haven't always been utilized: the microgravity, the high purity vacuum, and plus or minus 260 Celsius, just depending on which way your platform is facing. The reason we want to do that is to manufacture products which are impossible to create on Earth.
You recently completed a $10.2 million funding round, which has been described as Europe's largest ever seed round for a space tech company and was 4 times your original target. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it was an interesting journey. Where to start with that one? I mean, essentially, at SpaceForge, we're based in the UK. And while the UK does have a thriving investment ecosystem, it does not have that for space. And until quite recently, VC investment and running a space company in the UK was pretty much an oxymoron. That's changed. And I think the way that we've seen that change really has been in this journey that we've done as SpaceForge. So probably about a year, maybe 18 months ago now, we went out to the market looking to raise about £1.5 to £2 million. And we spoke with a lot of UK and European VCs. There was some interest, but none that was significant, none that really got us over the line. That all changed really when we opened ourselves up to the US investment market, and through some people that we'd met there, we're not only able to. Our original target then was to treble the round, and I think we then oversubscribed by another 1.1 million. So it was really a phenomenal success story. And actually, in the end, our biggest check came from World Fund, based in Berlin.
And tell me, what do you intend to use that funding for over the next 12, 24 months? I'm guessing it's going to be to extend staff and mature technology.
Yeah, in many ways. So, all of the technology that we've been developing at SpaceForge already exists as a full-scale prototype. So we're now going through essentially space qualification. So really, this money is about establishing the first few missions, which more will be announced on shortly. But one of those has already been paid for by the European Space Agency. So really, it's about leveraging that mission into establishing our manufacturing service. At the same time, we will be establishing offices abroad from the UK. So we are looking at a European Union presence and also a presence in North America, so that we can better liaise with our suppliers and better access customers who are there.
Can you tell me more about Forge Star?
Yeah, so the Forge Star is our in-space manufacturing and returnable platform. Think of it really as a miniature factory in space. So it's dedicated to industrial processes, whereas traditional satellites might be doing something like Earth observation or telecom. And at the end of that production process, when it's made this high grade, high priority material, it's able to return from space. That return is not ablative. The best way to describe it is it works like Mary Poppins, but all the way from space. So it's much more gentle than the current solutions available off the shelf, more affordable. And then that gentleness in its descent is really what aids the refurbishment and relaunch of those platforms, so that we can really start bringing the cost down of what it takes to build a satellite.
And what benefits does something like ForgeStar have over, I mean, a space station-based manufacturing that Blue Origin and Co are pursuing with Orbital Reef? I mean, I'm guessing cost is one of the big ones.
Yeah. Cost is definitely it. That's a good place to start. So yeah, I mean, if you think about the cost for the International Space Station, it is significant. But really, the problem with any of these space stations proposed is that none of them are dedicated to any one thing, and we've kind of seen the issues that happen with that with the International Space Station. So it's doing so many things all of the time for so many people that it's good at all of them, but it's not great at any of them. So if you're trying to do in-space manufacturing on the International Space Station, the maximum temperature that you can take something to is only 500 Celsius. You are incredibly limited in what materials you can leverage because of the astronauts on board. It's not actually at that high an altitude when you're looking to leverage microgravity. And it's now so old that it's actually, and it leaks oxygen and stuff, so that it's actually contaminated its own orbit. So it's not actually the cleanest place to go. Now, manufacturing in space allows you to overcome gravity, atmosphere, and a fairly consistent temperature. But really what we say at SpaceForge is the worst thing that you can have in any manufacturing loop is a human, because we tend to be the root cause of most issues. So SpaceForge is fully robotic. Now in the future, we hope to leverage those space stations that come online, but the market demand for these products is already there. And we can't wait for the space stations to come online to start actually accessing and providing things for our customers.
Okay, great. And then what are your upcoming technical milestones you're aiming to achieve in 2022? And when are we looking at a maiden launch of a ForgeStar? I mean, I'm guessing it's a demo mission to start with.
Yes, our first demo mission is this year.
Oh, great. And have you already signed launch contracts? Who will you be launching with? SpaceX, I'm guessing?
I can't tell you that. I need their approval before I can go live with who we're launching with.
Okay, great. So that's an upcoming announcement.
Yes. But yeah, there will be a demonstration mission this year, followed by another one in early 2023. And then looking in 2023 to establish essentially commercial operations that we can start working with customers who aren't government. And I mean around all of those, the team continues to build it, quite frankly, exceptional technology.
I know you have received funding from the European Space Agency and the UK Space Agency. Have you secured customers or letters of intent from any customers looking to utilize your service?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. In fact, one of the reasons we've been able to secure money from the UK Space Agency and the European Space Agency is because we already had that customer intent in place.
Great. And I don't suppose you could let slip any of the customers that you do have on board yet.
Right, not.
Can't blame you for trying. And what does the future of SpaceForge look like? What's the dream?
That's a big question. Really, the way that we see SpaceForge is we're a stepping stone. Bigger platforms will eventually come online that either we will help create or leverage for the materials we want to produce in space. But really where we see it is what's missing is that kind of high cadence of return. Now as SpaceForge, we want to be in a position by kind of 2025, 2026, we're returning something from space at least 12 times a year. And by the end of the decade, we'd like to be doing that weekly. What that means is it's our hope that everybody in Europe by the end of the decade will be leveraging something that was made in space. They won't know it. It might be in the charger they plug their car into. It might be the way that they get a 5G or 6G mobile phone signal. But importantly, it will be there and it will start to become a cornerstone of terrestrial industry and our everyday lives. And really the way that we see it is that the best way to preserve Earth is to move heavy industry off of it. And that's what we set out to do.